What up, friends? Stephanie and Trainer Joe, and we just wrapped up our first 28-day investment package. And one of the things that I really appreciated about our experience and our interaction was how daily you were giving me little feedback and pointers. So the vast majority of people that I've done this with were people who already had exposure to the answer and already had exposure to me. And I thought it would be cool for our friends to get the insight from you based on your whole adventure for like the last 28 plus days. So if you just start with like how you found out about the answer, that'd be awesome.
Sure. Well, I should start out. When I think about when I have my little things in my head about what I want to do in my life, one of the things that I hadn't got my hands around again was moving my body every day. And some resistance training, some weights, some cardio. And I would spend a lot of time thinking about it at 11 o'clock at night. And in the morning, I had enough mind chatter not to do anything. And that'd go on and on and on. And I'm not a gym person. I think my generation didn't grow up with the gym thing as much as it is now. So historically, I have run a marathon. No business running a marathon. I've done a triathlon. I'm a strong swimmer. I've done a lot of backpacking, but that was another part of my life. So Kelly, your wife, has been my hairdresser for years, many years. And Kelly is wonderful. And when she met you and she started doing the answer, she was always very subtle about it. I mean, she was not doing any sales. She wasn't doing anything. She'd mentioned the answer very casually. I imagine a lot of her clients don't necessarily pick up on that conversation, but I did. So I'd ask her a lot. I've known about the business development. I've known just a lot of different things. And I really wanted to try it. And yet then it's scary to try something if you've never done it before. So I know that your friends that have the Culinary Caveman, I know their story, and I thought, okay, they could have one there. But I never went by. I'd be working, I didn't go by. So when I went down to your gym, that was a big deal for me. I was nervous. I'd never really been in that kind of gym before, and with real athletes and what I would imagine just really strong athletes. So that was a big deal to me. So you showed me how to do it. I just did it a few times, and I thought, okay, I can do it. And again, I'm thinking, Kelly wasn't this big athlete historically. And so she'd tell me, she says, I do it 15 minutes a day. Yes, you can do it. So when I committed to it and then got it, remember at first, the first videos were right by the bed. And that's because I wanted to make certain it was top of mind every morning. So I would do it. One thing that's going for me is that I'm a disciplined person. I don't have difficulty being disciplined and follow through, and I'm very organized. So that's just kind of how I operate. But then after a week, it was downstairs in that extra room with the other things that we don't use. The elliptical that we don't use, the stationary bike we don't use. But I have used it every morning, or if I have a day off, mid-morning. I don't do the mind chatter of not wanting to do so. In fact, I look forward to it. That's what blows my mind. I look forward to it. And I will often look at it, the day, not so much the day before, but before I do it, to make certain I have an idea of what I'm going to be doing. I do all the rounds, and sometimes after the first round, depending if it's 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning, I just awakened and got out of bed or whatever. It might be like I might just be thinking, okay, I do them. They're doable. 15 minutes, and they're, as I say in my text to you, they're not for sissies. They really are not. I get a good cardiovascular workout. I'm able to challenge myself. I've noticed that I'm increasing my strength. I think they're great. And I also, this is funny too, I know that I'm enjoying it because I've talked to a few people, just some friends, and so enthusiastic about it.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Awesome. Could you clarify just a little bit about the whole idea of mind chatter and what that
Oh.
means to you?
Mind chatter is I should work out. I should go to the rec center. I should sign up for a class. That class is not going to work for me because of my work schedule and my varied work schedule.
And what do you do for work?
I'm a nurse, and so I work long days, different schedules. I cannot say I'm going to have every Wednesday off or whatever. So it's hard for me to fit that into my life. The answer, I can fit into my life. No problem with it. I have no commute. I have to walk down the stairs. I don't have to change my clothes. I can work hard. And by the time I'm upstairs, Michael hasn't even finished the coffee. I mean, that's how quick it is. I mean, it's so good. And so that's the mind chatter. I'm not doing any of that. And then also what's nice is that when my coworkers, my colleagues, most of whom are well less than half my age, are talking about going to the gym or doing this or whatever, I can listen to it now and know that I did something quality. Whereas before I was thinking, I didn't feel like that.
Yeah. How many years young are you, Stephanie?
I'm 64 years young.
64 years young. I love
Yes.
it.
I'm looking for 64 more. Maybe not, but maybe
That's awesome.
a good number.
So another question.
Yeah.
What about the gym was it that was such a leap of faith for you to go take action and check it out and come in the first time?
I think one is Kelly. Kelly is a real person. She is not, of course I double check, Kelly, you haven't done this before, right? You weren't really doing all this stuff before. She goes, no. Okay. So she's a real person, someone I have a long relationship with, and someone I trust. And that's where the answer was. So I wanted to see it. And when I went in, I'm just not that familiar with it. And my daughter Jillian is a very fit athlete. So she will leave our house and go to the rec center and go lift weights and go do all kinds of stuff that she's learned over the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And she's so fit, and I feel so unfit in relationship to her. And then I just really appreciate, I'm 64 years young. I do have a history of doing a lot of very impressive things. So when I then think about my younger friends who are 30 and they're doing these impressive things, and I remember, okay, I did those things too. I've raised 3 kids. I'm at a different stage, and I'm not going. I don't aspire to be someone. I aspire to be my age, strong, with good health, with flexibility, with ability to move my body, to have the strength and doing the weights and stuff because of my bone health. Mm-hmm. That is what I'm aspiring for. I'm not aspiring to be something that I'm not, but who knows where I might go.
Can you speak a little bit more to the bone health with some of your background with being a nurse and the value of that?
I'm a nurse, but I'm in a totally different field. I'm a perinatal nurse. I work with mothers and babies, and I've always been, birth related. But I am a breast cancer survivor. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know
I'm
that.
a breast cancer survivor of 16 years.
No kidding.
So, you go through active surprise diagnosis. I was feeling great. I was really active at that time. Master swimmer, active. To get a diagnosis that came out of the blue, to have surgeries, to have chemotherapy, and one of the and then being a woman can have osteoporosis much more than men, and the incidence I think is, I don't know, 50% of women over the age of 50, or I was looking at it recently, but anyway, there's a lot of women that have osteoporosis. Well, one of the collateral damages of chemotherapy is osteoporosis, and I don't see my oncologist any longer. He kicked me out years ago. But when I'd see him, he'd say, well, Stephanie, that's just collateral damage. And I figure, okay, I'm alive, thriving, and this is something I have. And lots of women that don't have my history have the same bone density. So the weight resistance is real important to me because I know the association with weight resistance and bone density. It's real important to me. And others, how do I say this? Others, when you have a diagnosis, a life-threatening diagnosis, it does change you. And I don't hang on to that identity. I actually don't hang on to that identity at all. How it changes you is that it does, it makes me appreciate things. It really makes me appreciate. I don't take things for granted. Truly, I was going along really active, young kids, to be, this is what it is, this is what the treatment is, this is what you need to do. If you choose not to do it, you may not be alive, So, yeah, that's why it's important to me. Wellness is really important to me, and I asked about my experience as a nurse, I see people naked. Physically naked and stripped down of any facade all the time. As a nurse, we do that. I see health and wellness, and I see disease and lack of wellness all the time. And they make a choice to have the health and wellness.
Awesome. Well, that's really fabulous. And one of the things about every interaction that you and I have had, one of the things that I've tried to share is just like the vulnerability, the transparency, the authenticity. And I had no idea about any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And so all of my background started in the 4th grade with my mom, who was a physical therapist.
Yeah.
And I went home to home with her when I was doing homeschooling.
Yeah.
And I watched her serve her clients to wealth of health. And then when I was in high school, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. And she did the best she could with the tools she had to have the experience. And, she told me my senior year of high school that her goal was just to see me play every football game. So she got to see me play every football game. And when I went off to college, my second year of school, she moved on out of this beautiful life that you and I are enjoying and appreciating right now. And one of the things that became real present in my life recently is that I wish somebody would have served my mom the way that I have the ability to serve others. I wish somebody would have been able to help my mom help herself.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've watched with the thousands of people that I've been privileged to work with is moms will put everything in front of their own health and well-being.
Yep.
And what I realized is that with some of the bullet points that you hit on, the effectiveness, the efficiency, the ease, and the quality of the workouts, is that I have the ability to help my mom in manifestation through every other female out there. And I personally just celebrate the feminine energy and women, because every single person here on the planet was delivered through a womb. And I was in Tulum, Mexico. You love Mexico, I love Mexico. I was in Tulum, Mexico in 2017 doing a sweat lodge. And in this sweat lodge, I was doing the ritual things, and it came around to the last activity, and we were asked to express gratitude, and I just started rattling off like what you said about the near-death experience makes the sun a little warmer,
Yeah.
makes the blues a little bluer, the greens a little greener, the love a little more lovely.
Yeah.
And I just was rattling off all these things I'm grateful for. And one of the things that I ended with was I'm grateful that I've had these gifts bestowed upon me that I can share with everybody and everybody
Yeah.
to unite humanity, stand up for greatness together. And Fabiano, the guy who was running the sweat lodge,
Yeah.
turned to me and said, Brother Joe, you're ready to go stand side by side with women, to support them, to encourage them, to love them so they can heal Mother Earth. And I was shocked by that. Why this average Joe, me, would be bestowed with so many gifts and so many tools and so many blessings to just go and love and support and encourage the life givers of our planet, of our species, of every species, the women. And back up a few hours before this all happened, I was asked by my friend, you can have lunch with anybody, past, future, present, who would you pick? And I said, Jesus, Buddha, and my mom. And that was it. And so as I'm going through this day, I'm fasting, I'm getting really clean, ready, open for this experience, because I believe it's going to be a really beautiful experience. And my friend and I go to this place in Tulum for a little bite to eat. And she was eating and I was just, being. And our waiter came over, and his name was Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I was like, Jesus! And he's like, Jesus! And then she's like, laughs, and my friend's like, look over there at the bar, there's a Buddha statue. And I was like, all I need now is a hummingbird to show up, and my mom will be here. I'm looking in Tulum, Mexico for a hummingbird, and there's no hummingbirds. And so at the end of this experience with this Fabiano and the sweat lodge, are you familiar with it?
No, I might be. I actually know the name Fabiano. If I don't know, I'll go home and research. Yeah. And I do know sweat lodges.
Yeah, so the whole idea is in the Mayan culture and in the Aztec culture, it is how they heal everything.
Yeah.
And it represents the womb of Mother Earth. And so I get out and I go to thank Fabiano for this experience, and I go to give him a thank you note with some gratitude. He reaches out to receive it with his left arm. And on the inside of his left arm is a hummingbird tattoo. And I'm like, wow. Thanks, Mom. And my mom's energy is ever present. And what I am doing is so important to me and so near and dear to me. And the value of the relationship that you and I have shared for the last few weeks has been such a blessing, and to find this out about you, and to know that what I am doing is trying to give everybody and everybody a wealth of health and make it as easy, efficient, and effective as possible. And so that's really cool. Thank you for sharing that.
Oh, same with you.
So one of the things I really appreciated about our interactions was your daily text messages and updates. And you were talking about you had just a few questions every often, and then just the interaction and the positive interaction, and you making some proclamations and some affirmations and encouraging me and talking about how you're noticing this, and this. We're improving, and I love that. What were the things that you noticed improved the most over the 28 days?
I think what I first, I keep a little a journal, and I make little notes, and so it's kind of fun to go from. Today was day 11, so I went back to day 11 last month, and I've gone from doing 5-pound weights to 8-pound weights, and the 8-pound weights were fine. They were perfect. Now I cannot do 10-pound weights, but I could do 8-pound weights. I am not a fan of day 7, 14, 21, and 28. The 100 answers, I do a little a little moral boost to go down and do it because they're hard. But you had noted the first time I did it was like 10 minutes, then 8 minutes. This last time it was like 7.5. I was like, or 7 minutes, 14,
Wow.
14 seconds. I went, oh my God. I mean, that is like incredible. What makes me nervous is that I'm supposed to keep, if I'm challenging myself to better and better and better, I mean, I was about to die, but I did it. What your question is, what has improved? So that is, I am very aware that I'm using my body in a different way. My posture is improved. I can just, as we both sit up and get our posture there. I use my muscles differently. Like one thing, it's so simple, but before I started doing the answer, I'd get up out of bed and I'd hook my right leg, to the side of the mattress, and I'd get myself up that way. After I probably doing the answer for a week, I noticed that I was sitting up to get out of bed. You do yoga, you do different things. There's all this emphasis on the core. Well, the answer is about the core, and I'm thinking, okay, my core strength has got to be getting better. What else? Today, I actually was with you in Puerto Vallarta because you had put it on your Facebook, and that was a really easy way for me to do it. I have a hard time sometimes finding. It's hard sometimes to find other people, so I had to figure out how to do that. But when I looked at it, I thought, okay, we're going to do those, what do you call it?
The hammer curls?
The hammer curls, okay. So I did those. And then is it the quad curl? Or
The hamstring curls.
Hamstring curl. So it's a static exercise. And if you're just looking at it, it looks like, oh, this is much better than doing 100 answers. It has whipped me out. I mean, it has, if you have good, that takes a lot of core strength, a lot of breathing, to do it. And I know that what I did today was different from when I did that same exercise other times. So, and just the fact that it was so hard. So I must have been, I think, engaging different muscles, keeping my leg, I don't know. Every day I notice some improvement. I also really like the exchange. That's why I've asked you if it's okay if I send you those little texts, because the round 5, the affirmations, the gratitudes, the awareness, is a very subtle, which is what that's all about, really. It's a very subtle way to get a hit of positivity every day. It's just, one works hard doing the workout, and then you finish, and even if you're working hard around 5, I listen to it all. And sometimes I'm aware that I'm not listening to it in the same way I may have another day because I'm working really hard. But it's all going in. It is that kind of positive programming. So I'm done, and I feel happy. I feel there's a positive hit. There's joy. There's goodness. And then I get ready for my day. My day unfolds very nicely in what I do. The opposite of that is to be inoculated with negativity. That's the opposite of positivity. And that doesn't make any of us feel good. It brings to anger, irritation, and shortness and all. So I appreciate that. I like it. I also have liked our exchanges because, again, I said, my generation, I'm going to say, didn't grow up with the same gym scene that is now. And I've been shy of it, intimidated by it, but at my fingertips, I realize that you're there. I really appreciate your coaching. And then if I have a question, I can send it to you and you get back with me. So it allows me to do what I'm doing at home where it's safe and comfortable for me, and yet knowing that you're just a fingertip away if I need. And who knows, maybe I'll get to the gym sometime. I mean, maybe, it's just little by little. And I think that's something when you're looking at integrating anything new in your life. You can, one person jumps full body in and someone else does step by step. Both are okay ways, but if the only way to get involved with something is jumping full body in, and the individual is someone who wants to approach it slower, they're not going to do it if there's only way. If there's the other way, then you have the opportunity to experience it and do it.
So what you're saying has been said a few more times recently, and I wasn't aware of it. So I Googled the idea of gym intimidation.
Yeah.
And what they coined a phrase is called gymtimidation.
Intimidation.
And they did a study with 2,000 people. Some of people who went to gyms, some of people who don't go to gyms. And even 50% of people who go to the gym said that they did not feel confident, they did not feel safe, they did not feel accepted. And then there's a whole portion of people who just don't even go to the gym because of that, taking that leap of faith or whatever that looks like to each individual. And to me, I was unaware of that. And now, like, hearing it over and over and over again, and then when I look at gym memberships in this country, there's 330 million people who live in the United States. There's 30 million people who have gym memberships, which if half the people are eligible for gym memberships, like excluding kids under 18, that's 150 million people who don't have gym memberships. And when I ask myself why, it sounds like the whole idea of feeling confident, safe, accepted, and like you're going to be set up for success just has yet to be delivered.
And another thing with it is, go to the gym. What if I need to be at the hospital and I have luxury by 7:30. My colleagues that work days have to be there by 7 o'clock. The gym opens at 6, let's say. Some open at 4, but like the rec center here, opens at 6. It doesn't work to get there, work out, get showered, get dressed, get to the hospital. So don't do it. Or it's a class and you don't know what the class looks like and it may not fit. And then the next thing is, if I don't go to a class, which has all of its stuff surrounding that, what do I do? Just what do I do? With equipment and all. And that's why Michael and I, when we exercise, we're swimmers. Because we're both strong swimmers, we can get in the water and we can swim. And we know different workouts. But going up to weight resistance machines and all is like, so what am I supposed to do? And that's part of that
intimidation.
Intimidation. And I think it's interesting when you say that if, like when you were training for the football team, that you're an athlete, you're going to go do all this, and if you took the socializing, the chit-chat, the waiting for your partner out of it, how much quality work you did. So I mentioned that to Jillian. She goes, yeah, you're probably right.
Yep, 15 minutes and an hour and a half was
Yeah.
about all the actual work that I used to do.
Yeah, and so now with the answer, I mean, I am working for 15 minutes plus however many seconds or whatever. And it is quality every single movement.
Well, and just the single bread and butter movement of the answer allows you to travel 3 to 4 times further than any other single movement. So now you're working out more effectively, more efficiently, and you're truly doing more. And what I've just been coming across for the last few weeks is looking at your heart and your blood pressure. And when you look at your heart being a reservoir that pumps blood to the rest of your body, when it's up here, you have blood pressure X. When it's down here, you have blood pressure Y.
Yeah.
And you're continuously changing your blood pressure. You're continuously improving the circulation of blood throughout your entire body, because your heart has to continually recalibrate
Wow.
where it's at. And it's just stuff that I'm beginning to look into and discover.
That's interesting.
And there's no other thing that allows you to do something like that in an ergonomical,
Yeah.
safe, low impact way.
When I do the answer, and depending on what I'm doing and where I am and what I'm doing, one really needs to use the legs to get up. So sometimes there might be the aid of some momentum, but you need to use your core to get up. And then sometimes it's something that's more difficult, like you got the weights or whatever. So you're back and you're up, and if you don't use your quads to get up, you're not getting up. Like there's no trick about it. I mean, this is just what you have to do. And that is, there's no forgiveness. I mean, if you don't do that, you're not getting up. If you're not using your body, all those muscles that you didn't realize perhaps that you're using.
So the answer to me for a long time has represented a metaphor for life. Sometimes life gets you down, and you have to engage everything that you have to get back up.
Yeah.
And it's just been a really beautiful metaphor that I've used for my life adventure.
Yeah.
Quick question,
Yeah.
like for our friends, who do you think would benefit from using the answer?
I think, oh gosh, I think and this is just general, okay, but I'm thinking people. I'm thinking about young people perhaps that were active. They've gone to college, or they've done their schooling or whatever, their preparation. Now they're working, and they're commuting. They're working. They are sitting at a desk, or they're doing something. A lot of our work, a lot of people's work is sedentary, unless you're a physical worker of some sort. But a lot of us are sedentary. You get in the car or the bus, you go home, you're tired. Do you want to go out to the gym? No. But if you have the answer and you experience it and know that it is doable, it's reaffirming, it's a variety, it's not boring, that person is good. I got together with a friend of mine a week and a half ago right there at Kelly's place, at the coffee shop. And Lynn is 73, I think. She is very fit. One would probably not know that she was her chronological age. I was so excited and so enthusiastic. I was telling her about it. I was showing the videos. And she says, I don't know if I can do this. And she confirmed, yes, she does go walking. She walks her dog. She walks. But she is a business owner with 3 businesses. And she's just fully engaged at 72, 73, 74 with these businesses. If she had one, she'd use it. Where is her confidence? How will she be introduced to it? If she came on over and used mine. If it were in if Just Results had a day or an hour for non-gym users just to be introduced to the answer, even 50 and over. Something safe, because that is what that user is one. Another person who could use it, I mean, I hope Michael will start using it. Historically, he has observed me. He'll observe for a period of time, and then he'll do it. When I met Michael didn't swim. He didn't know how to swim. But I would get up in the morning and go to a 6 a.m. master's workout. He probably watched that for 3 months. And then he registered with a swim school to learn how to swim. And within months, he was the strongest swimmer I was. But he had to observe it. So he's a man who is not moving his body. He used to. But it's the same thing. How do you take that first step? That is the hardest thing, I think, for all of us. And how to integrate it.
So that's one of the things I've tried to do my best with the videos, with the interactions, is to make this, like, all the different books I've read on health and wellness and fitness have given me tools.
Yeah.
And what I tried to do is take the best of each one of the experiences and put it together. So like you mentioned, you went onto the Facebook today, you hit the video, and it was ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, that was good.
And so that's some of the stuff that I'm really working on, and I appreciate your feedback on it. And then one of the things you mentioned was that you liked working out in Puerto Vallarta today.
Oh yeah.
So some of the things that I've been putting into the videos is what we see gets registered into our mind. And a lot of that chatter originates from what we see and what we hear. And so if we're seeing positive stuff and we're hearing positive stuff, we're thinking positive stuff. And so I spent a lot of time on that. And one of the big things with the answer is I really believe through the exercise, the mindfulness, and the breathing that we can raise people's awareness so that we can all recognize we're all sharing planet Earth, Mother Earth, and we're all here together. And we all have the same wants, needs, and desires: to be seen, to be heard, to be appreciated, to be accepted, and to be loved. And so subtly, by doing videos in different areas of the world, you begin to see, hey, those people love their children. Hey, that place is a clean, beautiful place. Hey, that place looks really, really safe. Hey, I never knew that. And then when you see different bodies, oh, that's what I'm capable of. Oh, that's what this person's capable of. Oh, people with dark skin pigment, they exercise too. Oh, people who are tall exercise. Oh, people who are short exercise. Oh, people who are young exercise. Oh, people are, we all sweat. We all bleed. We all cry.
Yeah.
And planting those seeds into people's minds. So just doing a real quick experiment with you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something and just see like
what I say.
what you say. Okay. The best part of waking up.
The best part of waking up, that's a little song from a commercial.
Yeah, do you know the next words? The best part of waking up.
I'm thinking, is it a cereal or a coffee? I don't know.
It's coffee.
Is it coffee?
Yeah, is Folgers.
Oh, is that Folgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
In your cup. So you have a memory attached with that.
Yeah.
It's been years since that's been tapped into.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now we're going to do another experiment based on the last 30 plus days you've done.
Okay.
Because at the end of each workout, I'm doing something similar. I just would like to thank you for the opportunity to serve you the wealth of health. And I'd just like to remind you that you are
the answer.
Oh yeah!
See? I got it.
You got it. And enough people start doing this and they realize I am the answer. I am the answer.
And it's a very it's there. You asked me about other people, and then you were talking about different. We've talked about when I go down to this little small town in Mexico, and I will get an answer there. I have to see if I can get it in the hockey bag or whatever. When I showed the video or something to our friend that lives in Chacala, and she goes, "Oh, the answer." And she says that her husband maybe could do it. Her husband is obese and is not a healthy man. But she said, well, maybe he can do it. It'll be interesting to see if he can. But I'd like to get it there because of what you said. This is a town with dirt roads, with the chickens and the roosters, with the sewer smell that kind of comes up through the drain in the shower because they didn't know how to put a, what Michael call it, a T or something on it. We're bringing all these clothes because the townspeople really cannot afford to buy clothes and shoes. If I could get an answer there that's in a public enough place, children and old people and all kinds of people can use it. And now I'm thinking out loud. Our friend Trini is she's self-taught bilingual now. I mean, so she is a Spanish speaker, but she has taught herself over the last 30 years fluent English. And she's a community leader. It will be, even if the voiceovers aren't there, Trini's someone who could communicate and explain enough to people how to do things.
And what a wonderful way to learn English with all those positive thoughts.
Oh yeah, really, and it's repetitive, but and I'm really into that. I think it's important to bring the positive things to other parts of the world, and the answer is low tech. It is low tech, and if you do low tech around the world, you can impact change. If things are high tech, real expensive, really complicated, it's lost. I have a colleague who there was just a medical mission from the hospital down to Peru this last week. And the CNO we were having lunch yesterday, and she was talking about water purification and how the town on the Amazon doesn't have pure water. And their system for purifying water was a two-bucket system with a filter and a tube. And she was saying she was hoping that we, the hospital, rather than Nurse Week, where they give us a silly plastic something, nurses will get on board to use half hour of their pay to go towards a fund in order to purchase these double bucket and filtration systems for this town that we've adopted, the hospital's adopted. And I was talking to her and I said, I really appreciate what we have. We have running water.
Mm-hmm.
We've got clean water.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have part of our annual checkup if we have intestinal worms, but every person on the Amazon gets treated for worms, for parasites, every 6 months because they're drinking water from the Amazon or whatever.
Well, my friend Ken with Water's Life is taking that on, and we're going to be corporate partners with him with the Answer as a company. So that proceeds of the Answer are going to go towards funding clean water.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so it's just, all these are little we've talked to, and I believe, I share this with you. If you get positivity going and you get the mass of people, be it through meditation, be it through positivity, it affects change.
Yep. Love it.
And we need that.
So feel free to join us.
Feel free to join us.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been such a wonderful experience.
It's
I'm
great.
excited to continue to grow and expand with you.
I love it. I really, really love it.
And just remind our friends again that you're the answer.
I'm the answer. It's doable. I did it. You can too.
Yes. Thank you.
Fun.